Emily, it's good to see you again.
You too, as well. Thank you.
Last time I saw you, it was like 24 hours after surgery, I think.
Yeah.
Very different.
And I feel just as discombobulated here. Jet lag, surgery.
How has training been since, going through the blood clot, surgery, all of like the ups and downs of what happened at the games?
Yeah, I mean, it was harder to regain my strength back than I thought. Just not using your arm for at least a month is like, you lose a lot. And like, I couldn't even lift a gallon of milk out of the fridge. Like, just like little chores that I wasn't doing, let alone like ripping a bar off the floor, like doing pull-ups or something, right? So it was a bigger uphill climb than I anticipated, but I worked really hard and I'm happy to be here.
Were there any things that you were surprised that like came back so soon and you're like, oh, I didn't think I'd be doing that at this point?
Yeah, I mean, the muscle memory was all there. It was just things felt more labored, and so I had to really check my ego, as they say, and go back to the basics and rebuild right from banded pull-ups and hanging on the bar with a band and right from the beginning.
How hard is that though? Because I feel like everybody's had some kind of like injury or tweak, but yours was so public, especially it happened at the games. Like your story, even with the surgeon that knew you were a professional athlete and wanted to get you to come back to this quicker. How is it like completely transparent coming back though and going through the emotions of the highs and lows?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, it was very public. Like, people come up to me and be like, oh, how's your arm? And oh shoot, like, I forgot, right? Like, I have these big, massive scars on my arm, but, I mean, that's what happens when something like that happens at the games. I mean, I wouldn't know any different, so.
Was there like a time in your mind that you made this decision? I feel like you made the decision to compete at Dubai pretty soon after. Like, what was going through your head? How did you come to terms with that?
The qualifiers were pretty soon after the games, probably like a month and a half after, so I was just kind of getting back to training. And I kind of told my coach, you know what, I'll do them, but if anything, I wasn't doing everything at that point, so if certain movements came up, I would have had to bow out because the risk at that point wasn't worth the reward. But luckily, I could do everything, and didn't tell anyone I was doing them because I thought, well, I might quit halfway through, but and that's just to be safe, like to be smart for my body, not for any other reason. But I was lucky enough to just kind of get through them and then put in a solid 2 months of training and feel back to myself, so it's nice.
Do you still stay in communication with your doctor? Do you have a physical therapist? Like, where are you at with all that?
Yeah, so I do physio every week still, and that's just throughout the year, usually anyways, but everyone knows.
Gotta keep the body at least where you can keep it.
Yeah, but I do stay in contact with Sean Rocket too, a lot. Any questions I have, like, I'm always messaging him, and yeah, it's good. I feel very taken care of. It's nice.
So we're here in Dubai, getting ready. What are some of like your thoughts, expectations, goals for the weekend?
I think it's the first meet back is always just kind of test where you're at going into the season. It's early on. I mean, it's 2022, but it's kind of early on in the 23 season. And then again, just really to test my arm. It'll be the first time back, so. Yes.
When deciding which off-season competitions you want to do, I think every athlete has like a different reason, like why they want to compete at X competition, whether it's payouts, whether it's location, whether it's like the depth of field. What is it for you that determines where you compete?
Kind of all those three that you mentioned. And then of course this year was different because Rogue was out because it was too close after the games, and I couldn't do the qualifiers after the games, and so Rogue was already out, and then like I say, I just thought, well, if Dubai's meant to be, then I'll get through the qualifiers and we'll see. So.